What if I told you your Galaxy S25 Ultra S Pen can do way more than you think? Get ready to discover mind-blowing hidden features and game-changing real-world uses that'll make you wonder how you ever lived without the S Pen. Everyone always misses some incredible hidden features within Screen Off Memo, so let's start there by turning the screen off. And by the way, I'll be using one of the few Magsafe cases that don't interfere with the S Pen from today's partner Torres for the entire video. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and turn our screen back off. And I do have the always on display enabled, but that's okay. This feature is still going to work regardless. Now we're just going to go ahead and take the S Pen out, and we're going to be met with Screen Off Memo. And if for some reason it didn't appear, just hold the S Pen button and tap the screen once, and it'll take you right into the Screen Off Memo. And most people think this is just for writing down quick notes, or maybe drawing something out to help explain something better. And yes, you did just see that right. If you hold your S Pen down on the screen after drawing a basic shape, your phone will automatically convert it to a much better looking version of that shape. Another common thing people would use this for is writing out something like a grocery list, then tapping this pin icon, and it'll pin that grocery list to your always on display. So now when you get to the store, you can just take your phone out of the pocket and you'll immediately see your grocery list without having to touch anything. You can then double tap the pencil icon, and that'll let you either cross things off the list or add more things to the list. Then you can tap the pin icon again to pin it back onto your always on display. But it's not until you write something down like contact information or measurements that you might need as a contractor that you unlock those hidden features. So if we save the note, then unlock our phone and open up the Samsung Notes app, you'll see the note right at the top. And if you switch to reading mode, you see that some of the text becomes a bit blue. And if you hover your S Pen over that text, you'll see these little icons pop up in the corner. So for a phone number, you can immediately call that number or add it to your contacts. For an email, you can immediately start an email to that person. You can navigate to a handwritten website. And by the way, I just released a brand new guide on the S25 Ultra, so you guys can check that out on the website if you're interested. And this last one is invaluable for construction workers. If you hover over an equation, you can tap the calculator and immediately get the result of that math. That means you can quickly just write down the measurements of all the rooms that you go through and rip through the math in the Notes app so you can quickly figure out what you need for materials. And if you want to clean up the handwriting, you can just switch back out of reading mode, tap the selection tool, select the text that you want to improve, tap the three dots, then tap convert to text. You can then read through it and make any changes if you need to, then tap convert, and it'll all be converted to digital text. But oddly, it'll break the links so you can no longer hover over the text and use it as a shortcut. If we back out of this note, then create a new note, then swipe across the toolbar at the bottom, you'll see this pencil with a T icon, and if you tap this, you'll be able to start handwriting on the page and it'll automatically be converted to digital text in real time. And this is excellent if you prefer to handwrite your notes instead of type them. The one caveat with this is that you can only write on one line at a time. Otherwise, you'll just get a jumbled mess of letters. So if you want to do a lot of writing with this, I recommend just rotating the phone into landscape mode. This way you get a much bigger canvas to work with. This handwriting to text feature also works in any text box on your phone. Whether you're sending somebody a message or searching for a video on YouTube, it'll work anywhere. And while writing in the text fields isn't something you're going to be doing all the time, it's really useful if you already have your S Pen in your hand. And jumping back into the Messenger, if you want even more space for handwriting, you can just tap this T icon on the keyboard, and that'll give you a much bigger canvas to write on. And here's a quick bonus tip. If you're writing in a text field that's not in the Samsung Notes application, you can actually write anywhere on the screen once you start writing in the text box, and it will detect all of that text. Another really useful feature found in the Notes app is found all the way to the right of the toolbar. You see this little icon right here. If you enable this, then draw basic shapes like triangles, squares, or circles, your phone's going to automatically convert those to much better looking versions of those shapes. And this is especially useful for drawing things like Venn diagrams or charts. If you want quick access to that screen off memo, but your screen's already on, all you have to do is hold the S Pen button and double tap your screen, and that'll bring up a new note. And this has all the same features that you find in the Samsung Notes application that I showed you a moment ago. The only difference is that this note can be resized and moved around your screen, which would be helpful if you wanted to take notes about something else you saw on the screen. Besides the writing features, the S Pen is also really helpful in the Gallery app because you can just hold the S Pen button down to select groups of photos and videos to share with friends and family. And this is a much faster way to select and deselect things. The S Pen also makes it a lot easier to make fine detail adjustments to your images, which would be a lot harder to do with your finger, or much more easily pick a specific frame in a video you want to adjust. Even the adjustment sliders will be easier to use with the S Pen versus your finger. If you ever travel abroad, this next feature is going to be invaluable to you. You may have seen this little icon floating around the screen throughout the video. Well, if you tap this, you're going to open up something called Air Command with a bunch of S Pen specific shortcuts. And these are all really powerful in their own separate ways. And you'll see one here called Translate. If you tap this, then hover your S Pen over some text, it'll automatically convert that text into your language. And this will be excellent at restaurants so you know exactly what you're ordering. But wow, that's some expensive food. So maybe don't eat at this restaurant and save the money to buy a car or something. If you grab these blue bars here at the bottom, you can drag to resize it either larger or smaller, and it'll translate all the text within the box. And if it's more text than fits within this box, you can just scroll up or down the box to see the rest of the text. And it even works right from the camera app without even having to take a picture. And as you can see, it works for more languages than just English. These Air Command shortcuts can also be fully customized by tapping the Add icon at the bottom. This will let you rearrange your existing shortcuts or add any of your existing applications, but you will be limited to up to 10 shortcuts. If you wear reading glasses like I do, and you forgot to bring them with you somewhere, and all of a sudden you've got to read some really small text on your phone, well, all you have to do is open up that Air Command menu again, then tap Magnify, and you can hover your S Pen over the screen and make it a whole lot easier to read that text. And this is even adjustable to different sizes depending on how big you need to make the text. So by this point, it should be pretty obvious that this Magsafe case from Taurus has zero effect on the S Pen. But the reason I've personally been using Taurus cases for years, long before they ever became a partner, is for a lot more reasons than just the Magsafe functionality. I mean, sure, it's nice being able to snap on battery packs like this ridiculously thin one from Taurus, or make sure my wireless chargers snap on perfectly aligned for the fastest wireless charging, or a slim magnetic wallet if I just need a few cards when I'm going out and don't need everything that's typically in my wallet, or my personal favorite, magnetic car mounts, which makes it way faster to get my phone mounted up on a dash. But it's also the practical and unique features that sell me on these cases. For starters, this isn't just a MagSafe ring. This actually comes out as a kickstand and rotates 360 degrees with 4 locking points. So you can have it in landscape mode, and this is a friction hinge, so you can stop it at any degree in landscape mode or portrait mode. So this is tremendously useful. I use this kickstand literally every day. And it even works as a bit of a grip if you put your finger through the ring as well. The buttons are also super tactile, which is really important for any case. There's a substantial raised lip on the front of the device to protect it from face-down drops, and there's even a cutout for the S Pen to make it easier to get out. But one of the biggest sell points for me personally is that the camera protection, while it is raised up to protect the cameras, it's flat to the back of the case. So that means when you put on something like Taurus's MagSafe power bank, it's actually going to sit flush on the back of the phone instead of being pushed up by the camera bump. Taurus even has a clear version of this O-stand case if that's your jam. If you guys want to get one of these O-stand 360 spin cases for yourself, I'll have links down in the description and pinned comment. And a huge thanks to Taurus for sponsoring this video. If you're having a conversation with someone and they tell you about an event that you don't want to forget, so you want to put it in your calendar, but you don't want to take the time to find your calendar application, open it up, find the day that the event is on, tap it a couple times to start entering the information, then type everything out, there's actually a much faster way to do this. So if your S Pen is already out, just tap the little pen icon and that'll bring up your Air Command menu. Or if your S Pen isn't out, when you pull it out, it's going to automatically bring this menu up for you. Then just tap Write on Calendar, zoom into the day that the event's going to be on, and write out the event details. Then just tap Save, and you'll be able to quickly see the event at a glance whenever you open up the calendar app. The only caveat with this is that you can't set reminders based on any handwritten text, but this is a dramatically faster way to enter details in your calendar. And here's a quick bonus tip when you're entering those calendar details. If you want to have different colors for different types of events, just tap the pen icon at the bottom and you'll get a ton of different options, including a bunch of different pen types. This next feature is something that literally every adult in the world is gonna need at some point, and it's the ability to quickly sign documents, whether it's a contract for a home or an apartment, or maybe a contract for a new job. The best way to do this is to download the document to your phone. Then when you open the document, instead of selecting Adobe Acrobat, instead scroll down and select the Samsung Notes app. Once it opens in the Notes, tap Add to Note, then scroll down to where you need to sign, and sign where you need. Now just tap the three dots in the upper right corner, tap Save as File, then you can save it as a PDF file again and send it to whoever you need to. And besides signing PDFs, the S Pen is incredibly useful for marking up PDFs for work. In fact, I've spent literally hundreds of hours editing things like my digital guides and even marking up schematics as a hardware engineer. So if you ever mark up documents, definitely give this a try and you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. If you just need a moment to relax and unwind, you can open this menu back up and you see an option here called Pen Up. If you open this application, there's a coloring pages section that you can scroll through. And if you see something you like, you can tap it, then tap Start Coloring. And from here, you can either start drawing like normal, or if you want to make it really easy on yourself, you can tap this fill icon, then you can just tap to fill in the different areas in different colors. And if you want some inspiration on how to color this in, you can actually swipe up and see what other people have done. This is actually pretty incredible what people have accomplished by using the S Pen. And you can, of course, back out of here and instead tap Drawing, then tap Start Drawing, and now you can draw whatever you want on a blank canvas with a ton of different types of brushes and tools. If you're new to drawing or you just want to learn how to draw better, you can tap this live drawing option and pick from any of the available drawings. And when you tap one, then tap Learn to Draw, it's going to show you how the person actually drew it with each and every brush stroke. Then you can pause it and follow along, then play, and you can continue to follow along with the drawing. I've got a few more incredible features to show you guys, but before we get into those, you're definitely going to want to make sure you don't lose the S Pen. So to do that, we're going to pull down our quick panel, then jump into Settings, then we're going to scroll down to Advanced Features and tap that, then S Pen, then scroll down and tap More S Pen Settings, then enable this Warn if S Pen Left Behind option. What this will do is give you an alert on your phone if you walk away without your S Pen in the silo. And that just makes it a whole lot easier to keep track of your S Pen. If you want to select text that is not selectable by long pressing on it, you can just press and hold the S Pen button and drag across the text to select it. If you also own a Samsung tablet and you're in the Samsung Notes application, at the top you'll see this icon right here. If you tap this, then tap your S25 Ultra, it'll open up all of your pen tools on the side. Now I can just tap on my phone to change all of my pen tools in real time. You just have to make sure you're logged into the same Samsung account on both devices before this will work. If somebody sends you a picture of something they need help with, you can just open up the Air Command menu again, tap Screen Write, then you'll immediately be able to start drawing on the image. And once you're done drawing on the image, you can tap this share icon to send it to whoever you need to. If you ever see a coupon code in an image like this one here that'll get the first 10 people who use it 30% off my 100-page deep dive S25 Ultra camera guide, but you can't long press on it or tap it in order to be able to select the text, you can just bring up your Air Command menu again, then tap AI Select, then just draw a line through the text you want to select, and now you'll be able to copy that text out of the image and paste it where you need it. And if you missed out on this deal, but you still want to see a deep dive into literally 100 incredible S25 Ultra camera features, you can check out this video here. And consider subscribing and turning on notifications if you don't want to miss my coverage of Samsung's upcoming foldable devices. That's it for this tech episode. Jesus loves you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.